Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. Now, I'm not lying, we're in our fourth and final episode in this series. And I want to talk about board shorts because I see one of the most tragic mistakes I think can be made. We've been talking a lot about symmetry and how a flat suit in the front, something that's not hitting the hips like this, can really make a difference in making you look more square versus narrow. And the style, and I mean, board shorts, some of them can be tighter around the quads and more tapered. Some can kind of flare out. That's something I want to talk about. But there's always a design to this. And a lot of shorts have this kind of a two-tone or three-tone or horizontal stripes that are just very linear and horizontal. And the interesting thing, when I look at winners of most shows, you're going to see a lot of more diagonal lines because it's very slimming to the hips and creates more of that V taper. So do you see that at all, or am I just pulling that out of my ass?
You definitely make a good point. Those lines are huge, and what you're seeing is definitely important there. My client who just won overall this weekend, he really wanted to wear a gray trunk, and he sent me photos, and it just looked so plain. So we went with something with more, lines on it. And that definitely, he was like, wow, I can't believe what a difference this made. And he still went with very neutral colors. And I was like, let's try to get some like white or black in there, because I think there's still just too much gray in there. It's just not going to pop. So we found a pair that had some black and white in it. It really mixed it up, which is still kind of not a whole lot of color. So I felt like it was a little bit of a risk in a men's physique class, because a lot of guys are wearing some really flashy colors out there. But it seemed to fit him very well. So we went with those shorts, and honestly, the guy he was up against just wore a plain red pair of shorts, and they weren't tailored to him at all. They were really close to his belly button. And I think had he had shorts that literally made his torso longer and were tailored to him, like my clients, where he hadn't taken to tailor so he could get him down on his hips a little more and it not look like he was pulling him down, made a huge difference.
I think that is important to have a couple different pair and do some contrast photos. Put these things side by side where you're looking at them front and back, you're showing other people. But, there was somebody who won the Yorton Cup. I worked with Paul Ravella. I helped coach him into this last year, where he got second. And the guy who won had shorts that were much more tapered in. And I'm not going to say they were skin tight. Obviously they weren't. But where a lot of shorts kind of flare out at the bottom, or they're just very boxy. And that, obviously you're not seeing your legs in this particular division. But if you can see the contour of your legs, if you see a little bit of that quad sweep in there, especially when you're moving around, I mean, it definitely helped this guy. He had big, broad shoulders and pecs and a tiny little waist. And I think you would have kind of lost that if you couldn't see the shape of his legs as much as you did.
And it can also, if you make the shorts tailored a little smaller, it can just make the back look wider as well, because you're only going to be as wide as what you're compared to, not only the person next to you, but what you're wearing on your waist.
Yeah, a lot of people, they look at a certain design or a certain color or a certain brand, and they think, okay, this is what I want, this is what's going to look great, and they don't spend the time to compare, especially how the actual cut. It's interesting to me to hear people actually getting these tailored, actually putting money into, a pair of board shorts. But we know women are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on suits. So, guys, maybe take a little lesson. You might need to spend a little bit of money and get these things to fit you perfectly.
I think for physique, it might be the most important division to pick properly, because it's the largest amount of fabric compared to the other divisions. And I will say my guys are the worst about it, because 9 times out of 10, I'm like, what shorts are you wearing? And they show me Mr. Olympia 2018. And I'm like, yeah, that's the past 9 photos my last clients have sent me, and everyone else is going to have those too. And, they don't really think that's going to be what looks good on them. Granted, it looks great on Mr. Olympia. It should. But, yeah, they really need to take some time in selecting those shorts and getting them tailored.
Yep. All right, guys, we hope that helps. That gives us 4 episodes in this series. If we missed anything, just message us, hit us up with some comments and questions. We'd love to help further. And as always, we appreciate you watching, and we will catch you next time.